Hi everyone, it's Austin Chu from WristCheck, and today we are in the Chaux-de-Fonds, which is one of the cradles of Swiss watchmaking. And we are at TAG Heuer manufacturer, one of the brands I fell in love with first when I started entering this space. Hey, how are you?
Been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Great to see you.
Long time. Great to see you.
Welcome to TAG.
Super excited.
I mean, it's your first visit, right?
Yeah, exactly. First visit here.
Yeah.
And with TAG is, you know, kind of the genesis of me entering this high-end space of horology. So very excited.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to share it with you. So let's go.
Let's go.
Well,
nice.
Welcome.
Nice.
This is what we call T2 of the manufacturer. So as I previously explained, we have our 3 other manufacturing sites for case making, movement production, and dial making. And here in this room, there'll be roughly 10,000 or so watches passing through every week. And this is where we'll mount the dial onto the movement, fit the hands, and then encase them. So we're going to see a bit of that today.
Nice, exciting.
Good. So here what we'll do is we'll obviously remove that, and we're recycling all these parts, so you can see the tray of the extras here, and then the brand new dials here. So this is the new colorway for the 42mm chrono. Yeah. The dial will then be mounted onto the movement, and then we'll be affixing the feet. So here it's a screw that will hold it in place, and then basically the movement's ready for the hand setting steps. So that's what we'll look at next.
Nice.
But you can see the main thing here, like everything nearly is done by human hands.
Yeah, that's what I was so shocked about, actually.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see.
So I mean, even for a brand of our scale, you know, it's really a very human process all the way through. And the amazing thing is how many people are involved. You know, that's what always fascinates me. So here, you know, one of the most annoying things, particularly for me, is when you have a high-end chronograph and you hit the reset button and the hand is like not perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
This machine basically allows us to ensure that that will always be the case. So the first step is on the left-hand side, you can see the movement is placed in this holder and it winds the crown until a little microphone hears the date skip. So then we know it's midnight. And then the movement is positioned, so we'll see it now. The movement will be put into this holder and all the hands have been lined up. We'll reset the chrono, press the 2 buttons, and then the machine will pick up all of the individual hands, hours, minutes, seconds, and the subdial hands, and mount them. And we're doing a quality control check at every point. So you can see the little green lights coming on means the hand has the right amount of tension on the staff, so that there's no risk that a shock would displace it or something like this.
That's so cool.
You'll see that when we mount the hands at midnight, they're positioned in such a way, but what we will then do is we'll switch them to 6:30, which is the opposite end, and it means that if there's any difference in poise of the hands and if there's any risk of them making contact, that's where we can basically do a tiny little adjustment to ensure that there's no risk of contact in the watch stopping. So every step, another quality check. So here we're encasing, so what have we got? We've got Formula 1 and Monaco. So here what we're doing is taking the movement now that it has the dial and hands fitted. We'll mount it in the case, and you'll see that the rotors will also be fitted at this phase, and the big pressure, I mean, not to make the pun, but we have this positive flow to ensure that there's no dust in the case, or try and minimize it as far as possible. So when we first affix the case back, it's done at a kind of fairly light pressure. And then what we're doing is we're using this machine to torque it to full spec. The next thing is that it will go into these little pots. And the first step is an air pressure test, because as I think you know, the waterproof testing can be a destructive process. If a watch fails, that's it. Everything goes in the bin and you start again. So this is a good first test where we basically do a light air pressure, and if there's a variation, we know that it means that air has escaped into the case, and that's where you've got the relief from. Once we know that we're happy with that, so whatever went through last, it had 6 ticks, so we know that it's okay. The next thing you'll do is you'll put it onto these drums, lay everything up. I think we can fit 70 or 75 in each of these. We then hook it up and put it into the big water pots at the back, and then the watches are pressurized to 25% above their advertised depth. So for a super diver, it says it's 1,000 meters. We test it to 1,250. For that, it's a 4-hour process to get it down to that depth. So it's a very long and invested process. And then once they're done, they come out. And I think you might have seen the next step before. Let's see if there's anything here. No, I think we're, yeah, here we go. Prototypes, don't look. But you can see. So we put everything onto this hot plate, which heats the watch casing, and basically any water vapor that could have got inside will evaporate. And the next step is we take there's a fridge just down here. We take a very cool bottle of water, we put 1 drop onto the crystal, and if condensation forms on the inside, we know that it failed the testing. So here you can see.
These are cool.
Yeah, pretty funky, great dial. I think coming out middle of the year, so others can see. But yeah, so it's in this room where we'll be fitting the straps. For some watches like the Aquaracer, we'll also be fixing the bezels. And it's basically the very, very final step before you can see it's fully packaged up, put into the shipping containers, sent to our logistics team so that when the request comes in from a retailer, we're ready to ship everything out.
Yeah, sick.
There we go. And here we're entering the fine watchmaking workshop. So,
bonjour.
So it's handled in a different production process to the other watches. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. So when we have some of the complications from the past coming through, so micro timer, micrograph, and V4, sometimes the servicing will be handled in the after sales workshop, but other times it will come here as well. But this was the original team that worked on the construction of these watches, and of course today what we're working on is bonjour, bonjour. We're working on the new tourbillon movements, and of course, as we have this, as I've discussed with you, I think last year, you know, we have these great ambitions to become seen as a true high-end watchmaker, as we have been historically. So now we're moving towards building out this team to ensure that we have the capacity for these kind of projects in the future.
Nice. So this is just prototypes, or?
Yeah. So these were watches that were produced here. They'll be functional. Yeah. I've got loads more downstairs. You can see them in the archive as well.
That's cool. Oh, the cases look so cool.
Yeah. I mean, the case by itself, and particularly the tourbillon case with the cutout in the rail. Super nice.
Super cool.
Oh wait, special treat.
Oh, nice.
Plasma.
Nice.
One being made today.
Nice.
Cool. This is exciting. Merci. Whoa. Super cool. So this is the new design for Plasma. Merci beaucoup. Merci. So you can see from Plasma last year, we've made a number of changes to the design. The main thing you'll see here is the bezel. So rather than being the ceramic bezel that we had for the initial release, we've now integrated the diamond cutting onto the bezel as well. And here it's mounted with the crystal. And we also have a full bracelet set with diamonds as well, which we'll be previewing at Watches and Wonders.
That's pretty badass.
And of course, dial, same as before, but equally as innovative. This polycrystalline structure where it's a single diamond technically, but it's been grown through CVD, where you have like basically the single block, but it's polycrystalline. So many different structures combined together. And same for the subdials as well, but in black diamond, and then of course the lab-grown baguettes as well, and of course this crazy setting for the case as well. So
yeah, I've never understood why lab-grown is used so little in watchmaking.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the beginning.
The crown for this is so crazy.
Yeah, and you know, we were saying that it was technically impossible. It's not technically impossible. It's just price prohibitive. Because if you needed a piece of stone that big, you would cost millions to get rid of it. So, yeah, super exciting. So here we are in the prototyping workshop. So before any of the watches go to serial production, obviously the conception happens, the design team work on the designs, we then have the CAD team produce the drawings, and then once the design has been validated, we'll start making prototypes. So the first step, as always, is 3D print. And the cool thing is we do our 3D print in-house. We have our own dedicated 3D printing lab. I think you can guess what watch this relates to.
Of course. Is the table at the entrance also 3D printed?
No, that's CNC aluminium that was done by a guy, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so the first step is the 3D print. Once that we're happy with that, it will then come to this workshop for the creation of the initial prototype. So within the room, we have CNC machines, we have spark erosion, we have bar machining, we have end milling, we have the classic Chaux-de-Fonds 102, so you can make a whole watch from start to finish with the right attachments on this. And this is where you see, really like hands-on technical watchmaking. So from the 3D print, we can then produce, for example, the first aluminium prototype of the case without the stones cut in it. And then the next step will be the production. So for Plasma, you can see here, this is the finished design with the stones cut into it. And it's amazing to see the intricate patterns. And I think you know the story. The reason we chose aluminium was because it gives us this very bright finish. We can polish the inside of where the stones are set, mount the stones, and then actually after we set the diamonds, we black coat the case. And that gives you this amazing contrast, plus the weight.
So light.
Super cool.
We hope you guys enjoyed taking a peek into the TAG Heuer manufacture, and I'll see you soon.